All right. Am I coming through? I believe the mute is off. And of course, on this monitor, I'm looking blown out as usual. Good evening. How y'all doing? I am not doing great, to be completely honest, which is why I wanted to set this up and do a stream. I haven't done one in a while. I haven't been able to do anything properly. I had set up ideas and whatnot, but I haven't made the effort of putting anything into a formal plan as of yet. And I think that's going to have to be kind of my next step. I'm off to a terrible start. I think most people know that I'm should be participating in the 100s anthology, which is 100 Days of Drawing Comics, and it is a sci-fi fantasy based comic that started May 1st, and I am supposed to be part of this. And I haven't been putting a whole lot of updates because I haven't really done a whole lot yet. Whether it's been work, just following up on stuff that invades my time, that unfortunately I have to give my time. It's just been constantly one thing after another. And every time I try to sit down and work, something comes up. And I'd like to be able to actually record and document some of my work. Oh, it's just been frustrating beyond words. Right now I have about I'm seeing a couple of viewers popping in just now. Hopefully, I'm kind of at a bit of a loss for words tonight because I'm extraordinarily flustered. Even just now, I've been trying to help my roommate set up because he has a new Mac and he's trying to get his Apple account set up, and he's not terribly computer literate. And I shouldn't say that. It's not being computer literate, but he's setting up with a new Mac. Oh, hey, Chris. Hey, Frank. Hey, everybody. I'm just kind of going through it now. This is just my little bitch and complain session here for about a half an hour. So let me kind of get through all this, and I can explain everything better, and then I'm gonna explain everything. So it's just I'm off to a bit of a rough start. Thanks, Big Man Mom. I appreciate it. Let me just explain why. I'm just a bit flustered. I'm just a little bit frustrated at the moment, just because, as I said, it just seems like every time I kind of sit down to do something else comes up. Have you ever? I've ordered something offline. I remember we were talking and joking about washing machines, and I've actually ordered one, and there's been actually a problem with it in the mail, and you try and phone them to find out what's going on, and then they send you to another phone number, then you go to another phone number, and then you're on hold for 45 minutes, and then they go oops, and then they try and backtrack, and then you have to phone somebody else, and next you know it's been like 3 hours, no exaggeration, 3 hours later, and they still haven't solved anything or figured out what's going on. And then it's finally like, well, we'll try and figure things out and get back to you. That's just like 3 hours of my day gone, just sitting there trying to write things down and figure things out. So I'm just like, oh my God. So it's stupid things like that. I had to go to the doctors a couple of days ago because I've been having issues with my knee. I've been having it since 2018, kind of on and off. And I had x-rays done. They said, oh, you seem to have all your cartilage. Everything seems fine. We don't know why. Then they... So then I had gone for an MRI. Again, this is like 2019 or so, right? MRI went, and they says, we'll let you know if anything comes of it. Waited. And next thing you know, COVID hit. So I never heard anything. I figured maybe there's something else wrong. And it's on and off. It bothers. It's normally just climbing stairs. When I go to climb stairs, is lifting my weight. Going up to the next step is when I can go downstairs fine. I can walk on flat surfaces fine. I can even run a little bit fine. But climbing stairs, lifting my weight with that knee. So I finally went back to the doctor's, and she brought up all my old records and everything, and says, "Oh, wait, yes, you do have arthritis." Okay, so that's out of the way, and then now at least I know that, I guess. I have to kind of deal with it, but it's going to be a little bit problematic for work. So it's, as I said, this has just been kind of a bit of a frustrating time, and I was sort of not really sick, but kind of I guess sort of sick. I've been a little bit what's the word? Where you're just sort of extraordinarily tired. I'm not sleeping properly at night, and then I'm falling asleep during the day. So yeah. Wow, I got Kristen here too. Hey, hello to everybody. That's nice to see. Paul, wow, hi, Paul. And yeah, I fatigued. Yeah, thank you. Wow. Yeah, I do probably need to stand to lose about 20, 25 pounds or so. The doctor did tell me the best thing I can do is exercise, just to get strength in the leg muscles around it. My biggest concern is that, like my aunt had to have like knee surgery. One of my good friends, my friend Steve, he has to have his knees replaced, both of them, come this winter. And I'm like, is this something that's going to happen? And the doctor said, well, she says, maybe in about 20 years, when you get into your 70s, you could be a candidate, but it all depends right now on how well you look after them. So just keep lifting and strengthen your legs. Try and get in some lifting exercises with your legs, some squatting, and but do low weights, but more repetitions, and yeah, and no, it's not. Yeah, my friend Steve he's quite heavy, actually. So yeah. So anyways, I've felt terrible because the last little while I haven't been on top of this anthology as well as I should be, and I have lots of ideas for it kicking around. I just when I try to kind of structure my time, it's just like something gets thrown into it. So yeah, so I feel bad that I actually haven't done any like full panels or anything. All I've done is just a bunch of rough sketches of the characters, and I feel like my drawing's been off because I guess I've been a little on edge. And you feel like you sit down and draw, and I'm looking at it going, my work looks like crap, and I feel kind of I feel like I need to like practice first. So I've been trying to get some time in just sketching out these characters that I want to do, and I used to have years ago, because I said this is all based on something I've drawn, had in my head for like 20 years, and so I have somewhere, I'd have to dig it out. I had model sheets actually for these characters already made up. So I just kind of need. I can't find if I can't find them, I'm not gonna be worried about it. I'll just start new ones, which I probably should anyways. But yeah. That's sort of been everything in a nutshell, I guess. I just kind of needed to get online and just kind of bitch about it for a while. So I had Clip Studio Paint open here, and I was actually just going to be doing a little bit of sketching in that while chatting, and maybe I could see if I can set this up on the screen. Doctor said jog 20 minutes every day. Jog? I can barely jog to the block. I can walk for miles. I could walk across the country before I have to sit down. I can walk and walk and walk endlessly. But as soon as I turn that even to a mildest jog, I am out of breath in like 5 minutes. I don't know why, but walking though, I want to change this setup. Oh no, maybe that's what I want. Oh, thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. I guess I have kind of, part of it is that I had kind of a bit of a vision for this comic that I wanted to do, and so as I'm drawing it, and I'm I'm the first to admit I'm overly critical of my own work. I've been like that for years and years. When I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh, this isn't right. This is structurally not right. Looks weird, and this doesn't. So I need to kind of just loosen the bolts a bit up here and just do it and stop overthinking it and overthinking it too much. So, oops, I'm on the wrong thing here. 1 second, I gotta switch this over. Whenever I start to draw, the tablet wants to switch monitors on me. There we go. Victory. Yeah, I might actually. What I'd like to really start doing, I was going to this week, but just again things came up. But starting next week, I work at the YMCA. I have a free membership with them. I want to get into a habit of kind of going in early in the day and making use of it for maybe about an hour, and then come back and clean up, and then kind of start working on something, and maybe try and even do some of it live if I can, just to force myself to do it. I think if I can go on at least 2 or 3 days a week and try and do an hour or two live while drawing. Maybe that'll just kind of help me kind of get into a rhythm of something. It'll mean to hold myself to something, because if I set a time, I'm going to come online at 11 or 12 o'clock or something like that every day, or maybe Chris is on every day from 2 to 3:30. So I thought, I kind of don't want to overlap, because I like watching Chris's show. So I'd like to either do it beforehand or maybe start it after. So, oh, is that right, Paul? I think no, there are not. It's actually just a lot of rich people. Actually, some days I'm only a 20-minute walk to the park and the lake down here. And that reminds me, I did actually open. I haven't put anything on this yet at all, but I did open up my second channel called Life with Phil, and I thought that would be Paul. I definitely want to. Paul, yes. I gotta see if I can start doing that, because you start really early, actually. But I definitely want to. But as I was saying, I'd like to kind of start walking down to the lake, and I have I set up my Life with Phil channel. It's my second channel. I'll have to dig up the link for that later. But I thought this is just things that are non-art related. It's just sort of my life surrounding everything else to do with my art. I thought I could do I don't know, if I feel like doing a little cooking video or something, or walking down to the lake. I could do a little live stream down at the lake or something, or just record it and show people the lighthouse and everything that's down there. It's really nice. When I get the washing machine, I was going to do a little review and a little test run of the little mini washer and dryer once I get it. So that's going to be, hopefully that'll turn into a little thing, but it won't be as common as this. This needs to be the main channel, this one. So so that'll be, we'll see if I actually make use of that. First thing though, I need to get this anthology underway. My artwork going so that we've got a bit of his snout's a little bit long. 3 miles every day. So that's what I should gonna have to do. Take a walk down to the lake. The tough part about walking down to the lake is I pass about 5 coffee shops. No exaggeration. So guaranteeing I'll stop somewhere for a coffee. Coffee and a muffin or something. It's a terrible habit of mine. I can't go for a walk without like stopping for something. And thanks, Chris. I have been drawing, honestly. I just haven't been putting it on here, and I haven't been doing a lot. So that snout's a little bit long. Let's see if I can cheat and shrink it a little bit for this. Too short and he turns into a puppy. Too long and he turns into the wrong kind of dog. Paul, have you seen Guardians 3? Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If you haven't yet, when you do, you'll understand why I'm laughing at your statement. I should put it up. Frank, send me your second channel. Maybe I'll try and put it up. There's absolutely nothing there yet, but once there is, I did his ear backwards. His ear is leaning the wrong way. I just saw that Gary Runciman posted that his book has come available, I believe. I'll have to actually look for that. I'll look for his Dinosaurs versus Marsbots. I'm kind of excited to see it. What is today? It is now, it's actually officially Wednesday here. And so one thing I think I'm going to start taking advantage of is I have for my iPads, I have GoodNotes. I do have Apple Notes, but GoodNotes is a little bit different, and I find them useful for two different things. GoodNotes are almost a little, Apple Notes I find is good for reminders and for things that I kind of want to jot down. But GoodNotes, I've actually, I got, it was cheap. It was like $1 something on Etsy, but people make these, what are they called? You can track your dates and you have your little calendars and you can break it down to monthly and weekly. I forget what that's, anyways, I got one of those thingies that you can put into GoodNotes. And so I want to start opening that up on a daily basis every day and start going through that and start planning out my week. And so I can kind of better have an idea of just a basic planner, daily planner kind of thing. And start planning out my days and my weeks and make something a little more structured for myself. Hard thing is when I do that, basically it's a little black book. And I used to have a physical one. I used to use quite regularly. And then so I saw these on the app for the iPad, and I thought they looked really cool. So I got it, and I need to sort of make use of it, make start putting things into it, and then every day getting up and checking it. What am I doing? What's my plan for today? What do I have to do? It's a good reminder for myself. Put my hours in it, when I get paid, that kind of thing. But also just sort of my life to life things, Monday to Wednesday. What am I doing Monday? What am I doing Tuesday? Am I going to try and shoot a video this day? I'm going to try and edit it, etc. and so forth. So that's kind of the plan, is to do that. But it's also to stick to it, because sometimes you put something in it. Monday, I'm going to do this, and then some shit drops out of the sky out of nowhere, and then it ends up wrecking your entire day. So whatever you had planned for that day, it kind of becomes a domino effect. So whatever you had planned for that day, you should try and shift tomorrow, but it shifts tomorrow's over a day, and everything gets shifted that week. So it's things like that continually happen. So I need to kind of find a way of dealing with that in life. But I thought if I at least have this, it's at least a good start, anyways, to get this going. I had something like that a while ago, but I didn't check it. And let's try the other. Oh, I know what I want to do. Excuse me 1 minute. I did have something I wanted as reference. Give me 1 second. Did anyone take advantage of Free Comic Book Day? I'm presuming you guys have that in the States as well, same day. And if you had the same selections, we had Free Comic Book Day, and my roommate picked up a few for me. Do I have them here? No. There's a couple of things, actually. Oh, those are the ones. What did they do with them? I don't know what they did with them. Oh, over here. There's one I really thought was fantastic. Koro Kotora. I picked up on Free Comic Book Day. The illustrations, this is throwback to my animation days. The expressions in these are really, really great. So much fun. I've been flipping through this. I believe it was written in Spanish and it was translated to English. But hey, look at this. Like this goes back to my animation days. That character right there. I thought that was just great. Who's the art? What's his name again? Dave something. I can't read it. Dave Alvarez, I believe his name is. Written by Sean Patrick O'Reilly and illustrated by Dave Alvarez. Yeah, it's very Disney-esque looking, but I guess actually even a little more Warner Brothers-ish, because the expressions are so super exaggerated. It's really a lot of fun. I'm glad I picked that one up. Another one I picked up too is the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. This is very 70s. Look at this. Very 70s and 80s style stuff. It's great. It's so fantastic. So those are a couple I picked up. It's a little more simplistic, but it's very busy looking, but it's really funny actually. There's some parts in color too. That's great. I haven't had a chance to really fully sit down and read through them yet, but all right. Let's start with a new page. Somebody's messaging me. I was gonna Adam was messaging me earlier, and I might whoops, have him see if he wants to come in. I did say I just kind of wanted to rant for about a few minutes first before I invited anyone in. But so can you, for Free Comic Book Day, are they only available on Free Comic Book Day? Like, I know my roommate, if he wants to get them, he can always get them later. But I don't know if they're only out the one day and then after that they have to be pulled off, or how that works. But so we can get something to keep this open. I have a book here just because I want the angle of the face here, this expression. What is everybody else working on? Is if you're not in the anthology, is there something anybody else is? Oh, I switch back to this. Oh, right. I remember seeing pictures of that, Frank. I'm kind of interested to see more of that, actually. $49. Wow, you're really burning through that. That's amazing. I should post some of those. So Frank's painting miniature drawing. Oh, this page, finished page 49. That's amazing. $80 pages to send off to the print next book this year. Nice. I'm excited to see that. Vic, you'll have to go back to the beginning and find out. I just went on like a half-hour rant and just did my little boohoo session to get it out of my system and off my chest. So it's all right. It's just been a little bit of a rough week. I haven't gotten as much work done as I'd wanted to. Just things keep cropping up. I found out I have arthritis in my left knee and I have to get medication for it. And I'm having trouble with stairs right now, and so that's stupid things like that just kind of keep popping up, and I'm having trouble with something I ordered that's been keeping me online like every day. To keep phoning them to stay on them, and bullshit, etc., so forth, and blah blah blah. So it's just life, just like everybody else. It's not like mine are any kind of different than anybody else's, but it's just been a pain in the ass lately. So. But I don't have bed bugs anymore, and that's a good thing. Okay. If your people call my people, exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when I click on something over here, Clip Studio disappears. Look at this. I have two monitors set up. So when I click on something on Clip Studio, this disappears. So Vic is starting another rival anthology. How did I guess that? I was thinking that night you were talking about it. I thought, I wonder if he's going to start one just because he's so mad now. Now he's going to start his own probably. Oh, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. I guess it's I think it's part of my animation background. When I learned to draw for animation, we didn't spend a lot of time, like we still did life drawing and all that kind of thing, and then we also had like character drawing classes, and this was all stuff that was ingrained in like a course of about 4 years many years ago, and it's never really left me. So what happens is that we didn't learn a lot about shading. There wasn't a lot to do with like doing to make that. You had to learn how to draw three-dimensionally with just line work. Everything was all just line work, because when you're animating, that's what you do in line work, and then it's cell painted after it. And this is late 80s, early 90s. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And you had to really make everything solid. Everything had to be enclosed because it was. We were still coming out of the cell painting phase back then, but you still had everything as a closed shape. That way, when it was Xeroxed onto a cell, it was basically the cell painters had paint by number, right? They would color in all the areas. Digitally, especially, because digitally you have to close all the areas off so that it doesn't bleed out. So everything was learned to be these solid, full solid shapes. And you worked very structurally. So line work for the head was all very, very structured for, because we're moving stuff, we're moving things around. So you want to make sure you knew where your center lines were and things were, so that it all stayed proportionately when you're doing drawing after drawing after drawing after drawing. Because as you're doing keys and key movements, and then come back and do and in between, somebody else has to do in betweens. So a head, if somebody's talking for like say 20 seconds, the head at the beginning of 20 seconds has got to be in the exact same proportion as at the end of that 20-second period. And all the keys in between have to say whether he's moving around or not. It's got to stay the same volume and everything. So when it goes to an in-between department, then they got to fill all those in. That all has to look like it's not changing inside. And studios are really, really sticky on that. Like there's no, especially if you're working for somebody like Disney or Warner Brothers, man, you had to be, everything had to be solid and concrete. So there was no screwing around with that. Whoops. So I think that's just how I kind of learned to draw, was have everything very structural and solid in shape. So that's a long explanation for for why I kind of draw, I think, the way I do. If that makes any sense. I guess that was kind of a long explanation. It's chow time. All right. All right. Is Chris out? Chris is out. All right. Cheers, Chris. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for coming and saying hi. I appreciate it. It's nice to see you coming on my channel. I missed some stuff in the chat here while I'm yakking away. The 101s. All right, have a good night, Chris. The 200s. Chris is gone. All right. There was a lot of. We also learned a lot about and something that always stuck me in drawing is not um, to give your characters life. Like if you're going to draw them, what is actually in their head? What are they thinking about, and how is that coming out in their facial expression and in their body language? And that really, when you can kind of apply that in. Uh, it really brings your stuff to life rather than just drawing, a character kind of drawing there or standing there. You can kind of give them a little bit of, are they thinking, are they wondering something, are they head tilts and turns and the eyes looking off to the side, and it really it can really bring so much to life in your drawings. And I think that's part of the fun of drawing too, is to give them that kind of to give them that kind of personality and have it come through. So let's see for this one. Whoops. I'm going to shrink him a little bit and just move him to the side a little bit. Transform, scale, shrink. All right. Okay. So let me draw him over here a little bit, and because I think of them in kind of mid-dialogue. Again, this is my animation training coming through, and thinking of them in kind of mid-dialogue. And so if it's going from this panel to another panel, he might be saying something and then turn and go over here and have this other conversation and come over here. And so the head's moving and bobbing and changing, which I really loved about full animation. A lot of television animation, and yes, I'm going to say it and aggravate some people and say anime tends to not move the head that much. They'll have an expression and all it's moving is just the mouth. This, of course, because of limited animation, and it saves time. And so you have to a lot of it has to come through in the acting somehow, in the expression and in the mouth. But in the early days of animation, when they were doing it for film, the whole character had to move. You watch, some of the Disney films, even their shorts and the early Warner Brothers stuff, the whole thing is moving. The whole character is actually the face. Everything is moving. It's not just the mouth. And it's one of my biggest when the character in comics, the mouth is closed. Yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, you have to wonder about that. Why they draw that? He's talking. Shouldn't that indicate that he's talking? So let's see. What did I just hit? I hit this and hit the eraser, I think, by mistake. Domestic scenes. Yeah, I guess it's very true. Don't Dilbert was great. Well, most cartoons would indicate who's talking by their by having their mouths open. It would indicate, especially if you have two characters, if they're in thought. I've hit the eraser button, and it won't come out of that. You pain in the rear. Come on. There we go. I forget what I was just saying. Dilbert didn't have a mouth? I didn't really read Dilbert that much. I wasn't. I never really actually kind of caught on with Dilbert. I grew up. The big ones that I grew up. Do we have Ollies in Canada? Ollies. Isn't that a skateboarding move? I could be wrong. So there, that's the face is a little bit bigger on this side than on this side. But I'm wanting him stretched a bit more as his mouth's opening. The bargain outlet. No, that one we don't have. Ollies I'm not familiar with. Bargain outlets? Do you mean like we have thrift stores like Value Village and that kind of thing? Fogman Leghorn, yeah. I did too. I loved Warner Brothers cartoons. Warner Brothers, and watched all those Flintstones and oh, did Vic say something? I'm watching the chat through Melon. I don't have it open on. So there's probably a delay, but I don't have it open on the YouTubes. I just have it open on Melon, so I'm not seeing what. I'm probably getting a little bit of an extra delay. Oh yeah, the comics that I grew up on, that I was reading a lot when I was young. I think I've talked about this before. I used to read Peanuts. That was one of them I read a lot. Was Charlie Brown. I used to read The Wizard of Id and BC, which were both done by was it Johnny Hart? Johnny Hart did both, but Wizard of Id was also Brant Parker, I believe. Now Johnny Hart's grandson is still continued. If you look up BC, it's I can't think of his grandson's. He definitely has an account on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. But we used to have the little novel-sized books, and we had like a whole thing filled with them. Even my dad read them and thought they were hilarious. I would read those all the time and maybe try and redraw some of them. And Gumby, David and Goliath. I just used to see Gumby a little bit. Never saw David and Goliath. I just never picked it up. We didn't have growing up, like 70s, right, when I was young. We didn't have cable for a while, so it was just whatever few channels we picked up. And then it was when we did get cable, there wasn't a whole lot to choose from. So it's kind of limited. And funny thing is, everybody grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons, and I did for the most part. But I used to go bowling. Believe it or not, I used to be on the YBC Youth Bowling League, and I used to go bowling every Saturday morning. So for about 2.5 hours, I didn't see any cartoons because I was bowling for 2/3, 3/4 of the year, and then that little bit of time that was off, then I could kind of catch up on the cartoons I missed. But I'd watch a few cartoons beforehand. I'd go bowling, and then by the time I got home, it was like 12 in the afternoon. I'd have lunch, and I'd put on Superhost. You remember his Channel 43, and Give Me That Shoe, if you remember Channel 43 out of Cleveland, and they'd put on monster movies in the afternoon. So that's what I got. That's where I grew up watching mostly, actually more than cartoons, was actually the Saturday afternoon horror movies and monster movies and B movies and all that great stuff. So we'll just try and keep the chat clean is all. But okay, no fighting in the war room. I actually loved horror movies. I like the old B movie horror movies, and I wanted to be like a TV horror movie host. I still think that would be a great job. I know people who do that. A friend of mine that does that in the US, who has a haunt and used to have a TV show. I still think that would be a fantastic job. If I could even turn this somehow into it, I totally would. But you can't run movies. But I would. I think that would be the most fun job in the whole world. And I miss those. It's the only thing with the way TV has changed these days is you don't have that anymore, right? Jim Luhan in the house. Hello. How are you, sir? Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're just kind of talking about animation. We're talking a little bit about limited animation and full animation and the difference and their purposes and such. And I didn't want to make it sound like I was slamming limited animation, but it was just because when I learned, when I went to school and I learned, we had to learn full animation. But when I worked at Nelvana, obviously that was very limited animation, where you had to have a static character and just the mouth move, and very limited, like the arms move and whatever is needed. I would love to see if I can do a little more. After this anthology is done, I would like to see if I can find a really good animation program that's not overly expensive, and learn it, and maybe try and do some little animated shorts. I think maybe I'd really like to do that. That's going to be kind of my goal, is once the anthology is done, is to try and do that. But I'd also like to, the anthology is a piece of the full comic that I wanted to do. I don't know. I'm kicking around a lot of ideas. I'm not sure how I want to take it. Part of me wants to maybe turn into a web comic later, and so that I can maybe animate some parts of it. But what have I got here? The full fungus. I'm trying to find something here. I can't find it. Let's see if I draw another one of the characters, because I've kept going here. Toon's good for the iPad. I've heard that. Maybe it might be one to put, if it's only $10. It's pretty good, something to practice on. I was hoping to find something that I could jump between the desktop and the iPad. Oh, for any of the Apple nerds out there, by the way, who use iPad and who do any video editing, I don't know if you just heard, they just announced that they're finally putting Final Cut Pro for the iPad. They finally just developed it. They announced it today. It won't be out till May 23rd, but it's coming. I think you have to have an M1 iPad, whether it's the iPad Air or the Pro, but it's apparently coming to the iPad, and I'm kind of really excited about that. It's not cheap, but it's not as expensive as the version for the desktop. The desktop, I know American is $300 and it's a flat rate, and then in Canada it's $400. Again, that's just a flat rate. Once you buy it, you have it permanently. That's it. But for the iPad, it's going to be a monthly or yearly fee. I think in the US it's $5 a month or $50 for the year, which is actually really good as long as it's as functional as the desktop or close to it. Canada, it's a little more. It's like $7, I think, a month, and then I want to say 70 for the whole year. I think 70 per year. I really like Final Cut Pro, and I would use it. It's I'm used to iMovie on the desktop anyway. It's a bit weird on the iPad, but Terry is here. Hi, Terry. Thank you. I'm doing all right. I appreciate. Feel better soon. I'm not really sick. Was just kind of stressed out, and I found out that I have arthritis. That unfortunately arthritis just never gets better. It's just going to very slowly get worse until I'm in the ground one day. But yeah, I have to. That's another thing. I have to go get some. I have to get medication for it tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that. So, but. See if I remember how to do this one character. I haven't drawn this one in ages. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, thanks. It was good to finally know that that's exactly what it is, and I can do medication for it. She told me that my doctor said the best thing you can do for it is to exercise, get really good exercise, and strengthen your legs. The more you can strengthen it, the better you'll be. She's giving me a prescription for some anti-inflammatory stuff for it, and right now it's only bothers me when I climb stairs, when I actually have to lift my weight with my leg. That's the only time. I can still walk on flat surfaces. I can go downstairs fine. It's just I won't be doing the climb the CN Tower challenge anytime soon. So yeah, that's kind of off the that's going to be off the charts for a while, and probably permanently. But anyways, besides that though, it's going to be a little tough at work because I have to clean stairs, but that's why she's giving me the meds to help ease it. And then it's just my biggest concern is if down the line, if I actually have to get knees replaced, and she says I could be a candidate in 20 years, depending on how things go. So that's about my only concern, is to have to deal with that one day. But taking it day at a time. I'll just deal with where I'm at right now. I can't kind of worry too much about the future kind of thing. So yes, it can. It definitely can. When I actually am able to sit down and work on it, it can for sure. Well, trampolines I could probably do. Trampolines probably be all right. I think it's when I actually bend my leg up to then lift my weight up on a step. That's where it's. That's where I'm having kind of issues. How did I do her mouth? Okay, I haven't drawn her in so long. I need to find an old sketch. I left them? I left them all downstairs. Oh my god! I still have stuff down in the storage room downstairs. I haven't brought it back up. Oh. Okay, let me check something. Damn it all, the Cleveland. All right, let's have a look here. Do I have anything in this? Wow, these go away. It's back. Oh, I remember that. Some old stuff in here. I don't think I have that character in here, though. Oh, I'm going to add him on board. One moment. Give me one moment there. The way it announces it.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm doing all right. All things considered, I'm fine. How are you doing?
I think I said hey to everyone in the chat, but hey, everybody. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to turn this up a little bit so I can hear you. Okay. Vic says he'll never be able to walk to the Eiffel Tower. Then you're not missing much. It's France, and I like to call it. What? Okay.
You ever use one of these?
What? I'm going to switch to my earphones. Sorry, say again.
You ever use a pencil like this?
Oh, years ago I had one, something like that. It long since disappeared. But yeah, I used to have something like. I like mechanical pencils. I'd much rather use them than the wooden ones that keep sharpening them all the time. But yeah
I love these things.
I'm going to switch to my ear pods, so I'll have some white things sticking out of my ears here, but I can hear better. I just need to switch over. I think I just lost everyone there. Testing 1, 2, 3. Did I just lose everybody when I switched over to my earpods?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it shows that my picture has disappeared.
Oh.
I don't know why. Video has been disabled. Why? Why did you switch to Epoch Cam? There we go. Sorry, I thought mine disappeared for a minute there. It keeps wanting to select something called Epoch Cam, which does not exist. I downloaded Epoch a long time ago, thinking I was going to try and use it as a way of streaming wirelessly from one device to another, but it doesn't. I didn't want to pay it until I knew how well it could work, and I just decided to drop it. Eventually, I'm kind of at a point now where I really don't need it. So it was more to use if I needed to use my iPhone as a camera, but I don't like to do that because I keep getting messages from people, and it's annoying to try and use that as one of my cameras. So
yeah.
I would prefer to have separate cameras if I can. But ever since I put Epoch on it, it keeps wanting to default to it as a selection, and I can't seem to get rid of it.
I caught most of the beginning about your update, but hope everything's going well. But you're getting medication tomorrow for your knee?
Yeah, I'm gonna go pick it up tomorrow. I have a neighbor here who said he'd take me to Costco because that's actually they have the cheapest dispensing fees, which are normally where you get kind of dinged. Apparently the medication itself is the same wherever you get it, but it's the dispensing fees that change that can be really expensive. or really cheap depending on where you go. So at Costco, I think it says it's only like $4 or $5. I don't know how old that was, but it said it was $4 or $5, and Walmart was like $10. And my friend is like, neighbor says, listen, I got to go to Costco tomorrow. Why don't you come with me and we can do it there. So I thought, okay, fair enough. So
That'd be good.
I was hoping to find some character designs, some old ones that I had, because I hadn't drawn this one character in such a long time. But I left all my sketchbooks downstairs. So I was looking just through a couple of old sketchbooks to see if I had it here, but this one doesn't have any of those characters in it. So nope, it is gone. I won't be doing any ollieing anytime soon. I have never been a skateboarder. I was never into it. Hats off to those who can do it. I know it's a good exercise, and it's apparently a really fun thing. But I was so uncoordinated, and I had friends of mine that had them, and I tried it a couple of times, and I kept falling off the damn thing, and I thought, this is just embarrassing. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to be a skateboarder. That is not going to be my thing. Wow, there's some old stuff here. How's things coming along with your stuff there, Adam? Like, how's your anthology coming along?
Pretty good. I've been doing a lot of drawing. I've been drawing so much my hand has been hurting, but getting these characters, like getting used to drawing my characters and more kind of finalized choices on the designs and costumes and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Still needs some development. Yeah, I got a lot done.
I've been trying to kind of do that myself. That's about all I have been able to get done, actually. Is just I haven't even actually done any more on the actual comic itself. It's just been I've just been how should I put it?
Like doing.
I've had so little. Yeah, like each day I've only had like so much time, and so I've only been able to kind of do some rough sketches each day, and I haven't been able to actually get on the actual comic itself, and I feel like, oh my god, it's like day 9, day 10 now. So
man, the days go by fast. Not like when you keep track of it every day, it's like, how is it almost day 10 already? It seems like it just started. That is one interesting thing about the 100 days. But yeah, we still got time. Like, I don't know. I think that, like, right now, I'm just so unused to drawing these characters, and it's a kind of different style than what I have been drawing lately. It's just it's taken me a while to draw and redraw and just kind of get enough bad drawings where they look wrong and trying to make corrections and stuff to where I start to feel even a little bit comfortable drawing these people.
I haven't picked up anything with these characters in so long that a couple of them I've even forgotten how to even draw them. One of them, anyways.
So do you feel like you got to a final design stage with most of your characters in the past, and you just kind of forgot?
I did, yeah. I pretty Oh, sorry. I kept thinking you finished. Sorry, say again.
No, I was just asking, like, did you get to a finalized stage in the past, or are you still? Do you still need to
I did
finalize?
pretty. Yeah, I did pretty much. I think the only thing that I had was just coming down to was just to get their heights right, the proportionate heights,
Okay.
so that from scene to scene I knew where, if they're standing there talking to each other, how tall is this character compared to this character, so I know where they're looking, if one's sitting down, if one's standing up, that kind of thing, like what where they're looking, etc. So that's about the only that was the only thing I kind of got into was, but I knew basically what I wanted them to look like. And then this one character, she might not actually be in the segment that I'm going to be submitting, so maybe I don't have to worry about this one character, but I'd still have to get her down. This has been... How did I draw her before?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time developing some of the drawings recently, and then I'm remembering, oh shoot, they look, because one of the scenes I'm doing is they go to the moon, and it's like all of the characters change their costumes when they go to the moon. So it's like,
oh yeah, then they got to be in, yeah.
But that design, that suit is not going to be in the anthology, so I got to figure out their spacesuit designs better. But I'm glad that I did that, because now it's like I'm a lot more comfortable drawing some of these characters.
What have I missed here? I've missed some things that people have said.
Okay, some of it is style stuff too, where it's like, I don't know. I always find like, well, I don't always find this, but like in this, I'm finding that I kind of want to draw one character in one style and another character in a slightly different style, and then when they're in the same scene, it just doesn't match.
Yeah.
So I got to kind of meet the two styles in the middle where they both fit together.
Yeah, I understand that process. Did you ever rolly boogie? We did have a roller skating rink down the street from where I lived for years and years. I never went that much because, again, I felt like I had two left feet, so I didn't that much, and I was kind of a little embarrassed by it, I think. In fact, I was just so uncoordinated. This is at least giving me an excuse to... The countdown is happening. Oh, is Terry going back to the beginning?
The countdown, yeah.
Oh, now you get to get it done. I'm sorry. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I said countdown. I was thinking my brain automatically went to the little countdown thing at the start of the video now that always pops up.
Like a premiere countdown.
Yeah, same idea. Yeah. Yeah, 3 months. Yeah. Yeah, we're now exactly 3 months.
Is it? The final countdown.
The final countdown. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm. Would you guys mind terribly, if you don't mind, Adam, and if everybody here in the chat doesn't mind, I'll probably lose everybody. If I just kind of step out for a few minutes, because it's driving me nuts that I have a couple of things I should have for reference, and they're downstairs, and I just want to run down and grab them really quick. But I will be back in like hopefully less than 5 minutes. I'm just going to put this on mute.
Terry says, I'm going to the beginning. Oh, she says, like I'm going to the beginning to watch everything I missed. Like you didn't catch me up when I arrived. Take your intermission. Frank gave his permission. You may have an intermission. You have his permission. I have no idea what Vic said. 90-day, more like 2000. Anyways, hey everybody, how's it going? I find it a little, I guess depending on what I am drawing, I find it tricky to draw and talk at the same time. And currently I'm finding it a little tricky. Jerry says, good, ate a big dinner and I'm tired. Sounds good. Oh, did Phil leave completely? Terry says, I asked for soup instead of fries, but they brought me fries anyway. Man, that's messed up. Frank says, how's the tablet working out? I still have not tried it, but I am planning on trying it out once I draw some pages and bring them in and kind of the touching up stage of development on this project. Oh, Phil expanded my screen. Oh, okay. But yeah, so I haven't touched that tablet. I am looking forward. I am glad though that I have it because it's like, man, it'll be so much easier to just make little revisions and things with that. Vic says, I've eaten crappy microwave pizza and Twinkies all day. I think I have the healthiest diet of all time. Vic, how was you went to some kind of comic convention or something? Who did you get a chance to meet? You mentioned someone earlier. I don't know if I recognize the name though. Oh, I guess those are showing up all right. Usually the pencils don't show up that clear. Vic says Pat Broderick. He did Green Lantern, Firestorm, and Prime. Oh, cool. Sounds pretty cool. And Gerhard, who did the backgrounds in Cerebus for about 20 years. Awesome. Yeah, his backgrounds are amazing. I don't really know much about Gerhard, but his stuff is really impressive. That's really cool. Oh, so Terry, I missed this earlier. Actually, I missed a couple things. Terry said I missed a lot of stuff. Terry said define the difference between mechanical pencil versus wooden pencil. A mechanical pencil is like this is metal and plastic, and it just has lead. Like you put it inside of there. There's no wooden part. Or this is a mechanical pencil too, which is plastic with lead in the middle with no wood. And a wooden pencil is wooden, and you have to sharpen it. I think Frank was asking what model tablet I got, but I don't remember what it was called. Game on something, wasn't it? Gay Man 2000. I can't remember. It was like Gal Man, Gayo Man, or something like that. Amy Chu, who wrote a bunch of stuff, and her panel was great. Galmon probably is closer to. Thank you, Frank. Vic says delineate. I don't speak scientist. Oh, hey, Creed, how's it going? Creed says, hey, Comic Gang, I hope everybody's having a good night. Doing all right, Creed. Hope you're doing well. We were waiting on Phil. Phil went to grab some reference material. Oh, I think he might be back.
Just getting this. Whoops. Hey, I'm back. I'm just trying to get the screen back here. Oh, there we go. Can I change this differently? Is that my only options? I guess it is. There we go. Sorry about all that. I did want to just kind of run and grab a few things. They're just stuck in the back there. So I forget where I put things down. Hi, Creed. How are you? How you doing?
Delineate means outline. Delineate, like delineate.
Yeah.
So you found the thing you're trying to.
Yeah, just it was a couple of old sketchbooks that I had to put away downstairs just when we had the whole bed bug situation, the heat treatment. I didn't want all the stuff to get damaged, so I took it out.
Yeah.
But it's 10th, right? I'm actually not next week, but the week after is going to be a little bit difficult because we have the big anime convention coming up, and I'm doing caricatures for it. And I just ordered a bunch of black Crayola markers. And I picked these ones specifically because, excuse me, they're actually, oh, these are the washable. They'll still work. They have what's called a conical tip, where it comes to, it's wide at the base and then comes to a point. And so as you drawing on paper, you get, as you move your pen, you get nice, like thin to thick lines, right? As you tilt the pen. And that's where you get that nice flow for caricature drawings of like the thin to thick drawings to indicate like weight and that kind of thing. And so I bought a bunch of these. So I'm kind of excited to try them. These are the washables, so I hope they're going to be okay. Oh, is Terry leading this? I just got back, though. All right. Have a good night, Terry. We'll talk again for sure.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not saying nothing. And so I also picked up, I normally don't like Sharpies. I grabbed this one because there's only one that I like to use for caricatures, just one. And it's this one called Super Sharpie because it also has kind of a conical tip. And it's the only one I know that works. And of course, this one is so hard to get. I understand totally. No, go get some rest. Like this will be the last live stream I do. I'll definitely be doing more. So we'll see you again for sure. We'll have you in sometime again too. So. But yeah, the Super Sharpie, and this one on its own was I think like $4.50 at Walmart Canadian, and it's the same one. What's that?
Have you ever tried Dullies?
Dullies listing. Dullies. No.
Like instead of Sharpies, Dullies.
Oh, oh my word.
Frank's joke.
I need like a wah. Joshua Campbell, is Joshua Campbell watching my stream? I am so honored. Thank you, Josh. Sure, nice to have you in. I do. I'll check him in just a minute. I got my hands full and everything here. I'll pop in and check in a few minutes, Vic.
Creed said he's having a rough week. I hope you feel better, Creed. Sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, is he?
Project.
Oh, I'm sorry. You and me both, man.
I think everyone had a pretty busy week.
Together. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. Because that was it. All right. Let's see if I can get back to this now, what I was doing here, to see if I can. It's awesome Frank is what's awesome that Frank's sitting in too. We're always happy to have Frank, but it's also what Josh is here. Building. Frank, I'm still building the structure of the thing with him. Okay. Yeah. Says, yep, this week officially sucks. Doesn't it? It must be something. Maybe it's the moon or something and it changed color. That I don't know. It's been a weird week all the way around. I think for a lot of people.
Yeah, always expect the unexpected, right?
Yeah, that's true. I still haven't figured out how to deal with it when unexpected comes up, but yeah, that is definitely true, though. Okay, I get it now. I remember what I did.
Creed, that sounds awesome, though. I'm glad you're making some progress. I want to see how that all comes together. So, what is the character you're drawing right now?
So it was in the story. It's this character. She's a boar, I guess is the only way of putting it. Not that she's boring. She is a a pig-like boar, and I had this unusual way that I had her drawn, and I was trying to remember exactly. It's been so long since I've done this character that I don't. I didn't remember exactly how I structured the tusks coming out and this big lower mouth that kind of that was kind of up in the face, and then the nose kind of was right in the middle. It overlaps the mouth almost the way it sits, and I couldn't remember actually structurally how that worked. I don't think she's going to show up in the first part of the story. If I'm going with the first part of the story, she's not going to show up in it. She doesn't show up till later. So if I continue the comic, then she'll show up later. I want to give her like this big kind of 80s hair. Kind of almost Tina Turner style hair.
If I'm gonna try to refresh, I'll be right back.
Yep. All right. If you need the link again, let me know. RCS Arts, how do you do? Yeah, she's got big messy hair. This one. The tusks are a bit off. Oh, there he is. And and actually, when I first colored her, I made her hair purple.
Sorry about that. I wanted to try to rejoin and see if it helped with my microphone at all. Josh was saying he couldn't barely hear me.
Oh, you're coming through. I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. I should have just asked, but when I was testing the microphone too, it was like the levels look very low. But anyways, I guess just let me know if you guys have trouble hearing me. I can try to adjust again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm on my laptop. Oh, Creed said it's better. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm on my laptop, so like I've never had the helicopter background ticking noise on this computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not there tonight, so
hopefully it was just like, I don't know. I think it's like a settings thing or something. So this character is a boar. And what else did you say?
And no, she shows up in the story a little bit later. I think for the section that I'm using for the anthology, she's probably not going to show up in it, but she becomes one of the main characters. So if I continue the book, then she's definitely going to have a prominent part later on in it. But yeah, she's they're almost giants. Like she's like 6.5 to 7 feet tall. And yet she's just this small little girl and her people. But I always kind of imagine her with like her voice is a bit of a New York accent. It's like she's a little bit like Fran Drescher almost, or
Oh, really?
the mother on Family Guy. I can't think of her name.
Oh,
Alex Borstein, I think, does her voice.
like almost like kind of like, I don't want to say that any particular accent is obnoxious, but there's a certain, like, also do you remember the show The Nanny? Oh, that's what you said,
Yeah.
Fran Drescher, right? That's who
Fran
that is.
Drescher, right? Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah, like it's I don't know. I'm trying to think of like
Was
if that's like a trope or something, but
who was the one on Cheers? Borstein. Thanks, Creed. Lois, yeah, she played Lois on Family Guy. Yeah, that's her. Grovelly, a little bit more. There was also the was it Rhea Perlman from Cheers? I think she was a little bit like that.
I would have guessed.
I never watched Cheers that much, so
it reminds me of the character Madame Mim from Sword in the Stone.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Was she British though? I think she was.
Maybe, yeah. The magnificent, marvelous, Madame Mim. I like that you have, since you thought of this as like an animated series, like you have the voices and stuff, like and then I'm guessing that really adds to the personality when you're actually like they're acting and there's facial expressions.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, definitely. I mean, I can hear the dialogue in my head between these characters, and and that's how I have to kind of slow it down and then break it down into panels and how much I'm going to put into panels and how I'm going to lay that out. But
yeah, I tend to think of my character, like I get a pretty good idea of like, not that I'm like planning out who's going to be the voice in some project or something, but I just kind of, I think about that aspect a lot of like who would be the voice of these characters if you could hear them. I was actually thinking about that today. Like I was like, I don't have any plan of trying to hear like a voice, something with a voice, but I just think like that to me is like part of like the planning stage. It's like think of what they would actually sound like when they're talking. Like planning out dialogue and stuff.
But yeah, as soon as I have a character in my head, it always comes together with an image, a voice. Mm-hmm. Jim Ryan will be all the voices. Yeah, I know. It's your voice man himself. Do you know what? Online you can actually, like, if there's they have this on TikTok, and it's a little frightening, where you can speak and put in a bit of dialogue and it completely changes your voice. Like it's not even remotely, it's like changes it right into a woman or an old man. Like it's the same thing. And you do a quick recording and it comes back and I'm like, oh my God, that's a little frightening. That completely changes your voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I messed around with, I don't know if you saw I did one for Josh's Jacob's Apartment promo. Did you see that as Joe Biden?
I did, yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I love those. Like I love the possibility of that for us to use, but then it's like, yeah, it's the fact that someone could take one of these broadcasts and turn it into like a fake recording or something. It makes me not want to put my voice out there as much.
No way. I mean, that was the one thing too, is I thought, wow, I could almost, if I know how I want a line spoken, if I can find the right voices, I could do some of it myself, but I have to find the right kind of voices. And
I mean, with voice AI, you could probably do it right now.
Because like the main character, the dog Kip, I'm kind of been tossed between two of them in my head because I originally had imagined like Frasier. um, what's his name? It is Frasier.
Right.
But more as Frasier, because when he does Frasier, he's more refined and more. Kelsey Grammer, thank you. Geez, I'm drawing a blank on words and names and everything tonight.
Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
I knew Frank would know.
Yeah. But yeah, I had kind of imagined him, but maybe with a little bit more of a British accent, just to give him a little bit of a little bit of a snooty British accent, just because he's so uppity, kind of thing, right? And
well, that'd be cool if you can start. I mean, they might already have this technology already, but just like like you could literally choose a celebrity, but then also in a British accent, like combine a couple different elements together or something. That could be really interesting.
Yeah, that's what that's kind of crossed my mind as well. But
yeah, Frank was asking what I use. The thing that I use is called Voice AI. And
okay.
When I did it, like whenever that was 2 months ago or a month ago, whenever it was, the two voices that are available for free, one is Joe Biden and one is, I think, just like a generic female pop singer voice. And then, but you can for the paid version, there's a huge list of every.
Oh, is that right? I might have to have a look at that. What am I missing here? I'm missing huge chunks.
But yeah, it definitely takes like Frank was saying, like it takes your cadence and mixes it. It's really kind of weird when you first do it. Like it's just like a shocking thing to hear your own voice in somebody else's voice. Creed says my story is all narration, and I picture Kit's voice from Knight Rider. Nice.
Oh, and yeah, I can see that actor too. Geez, he's still alive too. He's in his 90s. He had that series. Oh, Night Guys. Oh, Vic's turning in. Okay. Good night, Vic. I guess we'll talk to you again soon. I'm sorry. I'm kind of keeping this. Vic feels ignored. I'm sorry. I'm missing huge chunks of the chat. I'll have you on another night. We'll have a special Vic night for you. So because I just kind of want to keep it really limited right now with just Adam and I kind of just it's been a week, so I kind of wanted to just limit it for this stream tonight. But I'm going to be doing more. I'll be doing lots more. So we'll have you on again. That reminds me, I was talking to a buddy of mine, Andy. He and for you too, Frank. Oh God. I said, everybody lay on the guilt, why don't you? Jeez. Already he's dressed and everybody hates me. I have a very good friend of mine. I'll see if I can bring him up on Instagram. Thanks, Vic. It'll be fine. I'll be all right. It's just I just needed a night to get on here and whine. Where's my friend Andy here? He's on Instagram. He's my friend Andy. I've known for years and years. I've known him since public school, and he's also an artist, but he does a completely very different style of work. I'll see if I can find Graphic Realist. If you're on Instagram, he's under Graphic Realist, and he does very high contrast, like black on white with spotted bits of red of color. And cool. His stuff's really cool. Like he does like a lot of celebrity. He also collects comics, so you see a lot of comic books, and he does shows and trades comics, and he does a bit of comic work. But his stuff is mostly these like really black on white. He does some color. It's mostly this black on white kind of high contrast. But he's really good, and I'm gonna have him. I'm gonna have him on as a guest on Art Block, and I'd like to get him on here a little more often and get chatting with him a little bit. He's very what's the word? He's very much more artsy, if that makes sense. Like he's very much into cartooning and cartoonist, that kind of thing. But he's very
like fine art.
Yeah.
So
The graphic art, and he's very sarcastic, and I know he loves to give me a hard time and give me shit a lot. So he's probably I expect him to kind of really put me on the spot, probably. But that's William Daniels, yes, Mr. Freeney, that's right. But yeah, I'm gonna get him, see if I can get him on here again, because his stuff's good, and he spends a lot of time on his work. He finished one piece he just did. It took him like 18 hours for a simple 11 by 17.
Oh wow. Sounds cool.
So
when's the next Art Block? Do you know?
I think it's not. It's actually Wednesday now. It should be, I think, a week tonight. I think it'll be next Wednesday, I want to say, but it'll depend on if Enrique is available. So as long as Enrique is available, then it should be, I think, next Wednesday.
Cool.
See if I can get the proportions for this one right. Josh asked, what are you two working on tonight? I think we're both kind of doing kind of the same thing. I'm just, these are characters that I want to put in my segment of my comic for the anthology, and I'm just kind of getting the feel for drawing these characters right now. I'm getting the structure down. I want to develop like proper kind of model sheets for them, I guess, and I just I haven't drawn them in so long, like really spent a lot of time drawing them. So I just kind of want to get like a proper feel for these characters again. And so that's kind of what I'm working on here, is just like here I'm in this particular one, I'm getting the I'm putting like little thumbnail sketches down, but it's just to get them proportionately to look like the right heights next to each other, if that makes sense.
Did Vic start streaming? Frank said Vic is streaming. Go say hi.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm actually doing the same thing. I am working on getting comfortable drawing these characters and figuring out character designs and costume design for this scene for the anthology, where they're on the moon, which requires a different like space helmet and all this stuff than some of the other scenes I had been working on. So, but making a lot of progress. I got a lot, like the past couple. I haven't done an update in a while, but I'm planning to show some of the stuff I've been working on. Got a lot of drawing done. Got to the point where I had to like stop drawing because my hand hurt so much.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be drawing that much. You get to that point.
A lot of redrawing, like drawing something and then just like changing what they look like, because I don't fully have it figured out what these characters are supposed to look like.
Vic is streaming. Go say hi. I kind of can't break at the moment. I can't. I don't know how I do that and leave my stream unless I like open it on my phone. But
How's your comic coming along, Josh? Are you working on stuff?
I was just about to ask him the same thing.
But yeah, this elf character that I'm. Did you ever see the really early version of Peter Pan, like from like the 1800s, where he's like in yellow?
No, I've never seen or heard of that.
I'm doing this like elf archer character, which is sort of a trope that there's like a Peter Pan type, kind of Peter Pan looking elf archer, which you have for Legend of Zelda. You have it in Lord of the Rings. You have, it's kind of like a it's been done so much that it becomes this like
Right.
trope or something. So I have a character like that. It was intentionally like based on that trope, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and interesting. So it's kind of still basing it on kind of a Peter Pan type design, but more these like earlier, I can't remember the name of the artist, but they're really great illustrations. These really early Peter Pan books, like before, I mean, obviously way before Disney did, but like before, everyone
Right.
has that iconic, like I don't even know if that started with Disney, probably before Disney. The really iconic green costume and stuff.
Yeah. I think I want to say it was Disney that gave them that, but they may have based it on something. But when they kind of get together, they have their own kind of ideas on how to make characters look. So I kind of wouldn't.
Or I guess Robin Hood too. So it's like Robin Hood and Peter Pan, and I don't know. There's just these same kind of similar things you see over and over again. Is Disney's Robin Hood in green too? I think he is.
Yeah, he is. But that was based. His was based on a little bit more on the Errol Flynn.
Oh, okay.
Kind of look, I think. This Disney's Peter Pan was 50s, and then I think after that, I think they kind of gave him his look. That was, you can remember the stage play that ran for years, and I think any kind of version after that is they kind of established that. But as for Robin Hood, that cartoon came out in the 70s.
Oh, was that the 70s?
So
yeah,
that,
I don't remember when that came out.
yeah, their version, that one came out in the 70s.
If I'll be right back, I gotta step into the other room for a second and grab a
Okay.
brush.
Revising the panel for a publisher. Oh, nice. Barry might have described Peter's outfit in the books. I'm not mad at you. At me? What was what? I'm sorry. I missed stuff up above. I may have missed some of Vic's. I know Vic. I think Vic wanted on, but I kind of, I don't know. I was debating kind of whether or not to bring him in, and I just, um, he usually hops on just about every stream, but I wanted,
To exclude him from the
very,
space.
yeah, just for tonight. I kind of just want a little bit of a break and just because I needed a little bit of breathing space in this one tonight.
So Frank says in the play, Peter's outfit is made of autumn leaves and cobwebs. That's very interesting. So I think that the shift in some of the earlier depictions, you see more this yellow design, and one is definitely looks more like leaves before it shifted into green. But that makes sense. If it's autumn leaves, it makes sense it would be more yellow than green. Cobwebs, though, I didn't realize all that.
Yeah, the cobwebs I didn't realize actually, but oh, did you? Where did you? Oh, am I missing part of it? Is in the private?
Big Bad Mama says, Adam, can you please show a close up when you get a chance? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I can. Here,
I can show you guys some of the stuff I've been working on. This is a new sort of helmet design that I was working on today.
I'm sorry.
You can see that right now.
Okay.
Anyways, I can show some of the other stuff I've been working on. Trying to get this moon wizard figured out. I was changing his like hairstyle and stuff a little bit. I think this shadow is making the focus not work as well. So I was doing a bunch of moon wizard drawings. Like drawing something and then drawing over it with tracing paper. Getting closer to more kind of the look that I have in mind. And these are some earlier sketches of this elf character who doesn't actually look much like that, but that was like one of the earlier versions.
Josh says he wants that airbrushed on a van. I know, right?
The Moon Wizard.
It's such a 70s.
Did you ever hear Josh's Wizard Van rant?
No.
Wizard Van rant. This elf character. Anyways, that's some of the stuff I've been working on. But as I said, like, I'm realizing after I drew this elf character a bunch, like, I should be working more on this helmet design, which I think is the only version of the elf character you're going to see in the anthology. Thank you, Josh. Josh, this looks awesome. Adam, thank you. What is your board character's name?
Oh, so her name is Rhea, but it's spelled Wreah. I think is how he spelled it.
Oh,
I think I called her that because it was because she was a boar. That it would be kind of a name that has a squealing sound to it, and so I sort of thought of if you were to make like a pig noise or something like it, that kind of call her Rhea.
okay. Like if a boar had a name, but it could only make boar sounds. What
Boar
would it?
sounds, yeah.
Nice.
Rhea Boarman, yeah.
Oh, Josh said we should do at some point an anthology that consists of stories about ants and aunts. As some say. Or ants.
Anthology. It's an ants.
I'm down if anyone else is. I have an army ant character that I could do for the anthology. One of my very first characters I ever came up with.
Or a borealis. Yeah, that's right too. Actually, I think I called her race Borellians. What brand of shirt is that, Adam? Is that Bugle Boy long sleeve?
Oh, I'm actually not sure. I don't know. I thought it was like Wrangler or something, actually. Which it doesn't look as like Wrangler stuff.
Comics. Anthology should the cover should be a picnic basket full of comics. Can I, if I go back to this view, is there a way? The comic should be really, really tiny.
That would be fun.
Don't know. I messed this up. What did I just do? I'm trying to see if I could switch this, but why can't I make? I can't reorder these. That's the only thing I can't. When I have this screen layout, I can't. I thought I'd be able to reorganize them, but I guess because this one's a screen share, it won't let me change it. I can rearrange you and I like this, but I can't. Maybe my friend is coming to fix my car. Is off to bed. Okay. All right. Thanks, Frank. I'm going to do another one. I might even do another one tomorrow night, and I'll have people in. So on this one, try and make
Have a
up
good night,
money. So but have a good night, though. We'll definitely talk to you soon. Yeah. All right, good night, Frank. Party space. Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, I want to. So remember me, Terry and I were mentioning our friend Alex has a show,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
movie review show. I did this. I went on his show the other day on Sunday and did this drawing while I was on there.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be based on the movie Beau Was Afraid. I
Oh,
don't know if it ended up looking that much like the character. But
Can't
Terry's going to be
remember.
on Sunday.
Where have I seen that? There is a movie. You know, what it reminds me of a little bit. I'd have to see it again. There was this movie, and I hated it. It was a terrible movie, but apparently it's this really good acclaimed movie from very early '90s called The Field, and it had who is that actor, the English actor who played Dumbledore, but he passed away after the first two movies, and he got replaced. Richard. No, he sang MacArthur's Park.
Which character is Dumbledore?
He's the old wizard who ran the castle in Harry Potter, and he was the English actor who played him in the first two movies, but he passed away.
Is it Alan Rickman?
Nope, no, not Alan Rickman.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
he looks more like a dwarf character or something.
No, he was actually very tall and had to grow his beard out. But
that guy. Okay. Yeah,
and Frank's left. Give me a second here. I'll get his name up in a second. But he was in a movie called The Field around 1990. And I always drove me. Oh yeah, it does look like him. Jeez. Let me just get the cast here. If you look up Richard Harris was in that, and Sean Bean was in it too. But if you look up The Field with Richard Harris, 1990, that looks like him from that movie. He even has the hat and everything. But the movie itself, because I thought it was going to be how he was going to fight to keep this land, how he had for years had looked over this. It wasn't his property; it was someone else's. But he spent his whole life looking after it. And then this woman who owned it was going to sell it, and he was going to fight to try and keep it. And I thought it was going to be the story about him, how he needed to try and overcome this big company that wanted to come in and buy it, and it ended up just kind of going downhill. It got worse and worse and worse, and Sean Bean played his son, and he played this idiot character who just was awkward and strange, and it just, I remember the ending of the movie just ended with his son being chased by a herd of cows, and they all go flying over this cliff at the end. And I just saw, you could tell it was these fake rubber cows going over the edge of this cliff. And I sat there just shaking my head going, what is this horrid film? I was so glad when it was done. And
it sounds like a verse from the Bible.
Oh, when people ask me what's the worst film you've ever seen, that film always comes to mind, The Field. It was just stupid and terrible, and it was just not what I was. And yet it was critically acclaimed and all this nonsense. And I thought, this is just terrible.
I don't remember ever hearing about that movie.
No, it was this little, I think it was, I would say it was an Irish made film, or maybe, was it? Or was it, I don't think it was an American made production, I don't think. But, it was awful. And the ending was so, I ended up laughing my head off when I was watching these fake cows going over the edge of this cliff at the end. Just like,
there is a verse in the Bible kind of like that where, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like, you know what I'm talking about, where Jesus like casts these demons out, but he puts them into certain animal. I don't remember if it was cows or
right. Okay, pigs, yeah. But I thought they were drowned. I thought they just
maybe I'm misremembering it.
Ran them in the ocean and drowned. Mind you, the
I could have sworn they run off a cliff though.
Oh, maybe I'd have to have a look. I thought it was they were drowned, but I could. Yeah, it's got 2 stars on Rotten Tomatoes. But
Oh wow. Okay.
why? Wait, Tomato Meter gave it 43, audience 82. Really? I mean, it's got some great actors in it, some great performances. John Hurt was in it too. But no, I would never want to sit through that again. It's just, and it's been years since I've seen it, and I have no desire to sit through it again. But yeah, sorry, that character just reminded me of it because it looks just like him. Country of origin, Ireland. Yeah. Bring up a picture of him here. Oops, no, that's the. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's the picture.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's when he says, "Wow, that's."
That does look very similar. Yeah, I kind of was using this like this is for that. I mean, if you saw the posters or if you saw the movie, like Beau is Afraid, there's this one part in particular where he's like, I don't even think he's an old man. I think he's like dressed up as an old man. But we were reviewing that movie, so I was drawing this. But I was also kind of keeping in mind some of the. I was kind of thinking about drawing, like lighting and folds and beards and stuff like that I could apply to my Moon Wizard character.
Right. Let's save some of these here, actually. Big Bad Mama asks, when will the Moon Wizard t-shirts be available?
Let's see. Not for a while, but I mean, putting something on a t-shirt is pretty easy nowadays. Just, upload it and it's available.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, a friend of mine asked me to do a quick little cartoon for him. He paid me a bit of money, and I said sure, because he actually kind of drew the face out, and so I said that's really easy. I did it in like less than an hour. So he sent me a little bit of money for it, and I was like, okay. So I drew it, and I drew a version just line art and color, threw a bit of color in one, and next thing I knew, about half hour, 45 minutes later, he had it up in his shop advertising his shirts for photography. So
nice.
So yeah, I'll tell you that this age, it doesn't like this one. It doesn't take long. It really doesn't.
Might have to hire Josh then if it requires a rad font.
Rad font. Yep. Exactly. I don't like this one. I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy last night. Came to town and wanted
Is that the third one?
That's the third one. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of the last formal Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
How did you like it?
So it was really good. I think it's probably the best Marvel film I've seen since Spider-Man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really good. It was a hard sit through. There's some really harsh stuff in it that's a little depressing. But good film though. It's very James Gunn.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really know much about James Gunn, and I didn't really like the first Guardians movie, but
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
I heard that one was good.
We're from Indica. Black metal logo.
How was your stream, Vic?
Oh, hey, Vic.
How's that? Oh,
What's wrong?
A black metal logo. Oh, yeah.
No, what's wrong with this? Oh, I've got on eraser mode. That's why. It's after 2:00, so I may end up. I'll go for about another 10 minutes. I think I'm gonna call it. I'll go for about 10 more minutes more. Yeah. Moon Wizard needs his own comic. Now. All I can think of is like I don't even think of like something like that from the 70s. I think of like Wizards and what was his name? That did the first Lord of the Rings animated film. Ralph Bakshi.
Ralph Bakshi, yeah.
Yeah. It's called Moon Wizard, yeah. See, it's like I know, but I'm really actually tired. I may end up actually calling it this time, looking at the clock, and it's 10 after 2. So yeah, I'm kind of wiped out. It's been the last couple of days have been a bit stressful and a bit heavy for me. So I need to actually get to bed and get some actual decent sleep.
Yeah.
I can't be up till like 4 or 5 in the morning. Although I haven't been sleeping properly anyways, so I let things stress me out, and then I can't sleep, and too many things start going through my head.
For sure, yeah.
I can't.
Well, you have some relief. Is your knee thing an ongoing pain right now, or is it like just when you're doing stuff?
No, just on stairs.
Okay.
That's when I climb stairs.
Still, like it doesn't last like later on.
No. It's just when I lift I can feel it for sometimes if I really feel it hurt. There was like was it Monday or Saturday? I was at a mall. I was coming up and taking an escalator up. I started to take a couple of steps on the escalator, and I really felt something pull. Like it really hurt. And that must have been Saturday, I think. Yeah, I was in pain. In fact, it hurt so much that I'm taking an Uber home, and so in that case, sometimes depending on if I have a bad spell like that, it can really hurt. It happens once in a while. Usually, it just hurts when I lift my weight up to the next step. But that afternoon, that really hurt. That's just like I felt like something would crunch under there, and I was like, "Damn it!" But
wow,
yeah, that one really hurt. But after that, like the day after, I was fine. I'm not like in any constant pain. So. But it just bothers me when I try to climb stairs, and my job involves that. I have areas of stairs that I have to clean. So I'm gonna talk to the boss and see if I can work something around that, or some of my coworkers even, just if we can switch a job or something. Vic, yes, I did get an actual bed. I did. I got I had to order a new bed frame, a new mattress topper, and I got one of those bed bug proof covers that you can zip up around the mattress. I got one of those, and yeah, so I'm all set again with actually I have more room in my bedroom. The previous bed I didn't miss too much because even though the previous one I got was kind of free, it was this huge monster queen side bed that had these wooden things that curved out the sides, and I had barely any room. And I thought this isn't going to last long. So when I had to actually throw that one out, I wasn't too terribly upset, even though I had to kind of buy another bed. But what I've got is just a double, and it works better for me right now. But yeah, thanks, Josh. You know, they actually started around 2018, and I knew something was wrong, and they told me at first, I got x-rays done, and they said at first they don't see anything wrong. They didn't think it was arthritis. And then they sent me for an MRI, and they said, we'll be in touch. But COVID hit. And so I just, I didn't hear anything. So I just was kind of on and off. Whoops, I lost Adam. I think.
I'm still here.
Oh, so here. Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. All right.
I turned off my video so it'd be easier to.
Oh, okay.
Up and in.
Yeah, so I never heard anything. And then when I went to see my doctor, finally had to go see her because it was bothering me again. And I went to see my doctor, and she was, I told her about what happened. So she opened up some old files, and she was like, oh, yeah. She says, actually, you do have arthritis. You didn't tell me that before a few years ago. So she's prescribed to me some anti-inflammatory that I'm going to go pick up tomorrow. So I got to be up. Actually, I have to. Well, we're leaving at 11. My neighbor said he'd drive me over to Costco because Costco has the cheapest dispensary fees. So he's going to drive me over to Costco, and I need to get a few things there. So, but I like going to Costco when I can. It's not worth it for me to get a membership, but if I can go with my neighbor, with a friend sometime, I like going and just kind of stocking up on lots of stuff. So. But good, because you need it given your age. What are you saying? But yeah, no, I do need. Most people should get a normal amount of sleep. Nobody's supposed to actually get like less than 6 hours sleep. That's just not healthy for you. Dispensary? No, yeah, they use that for that as well. But dispensary just means to dispense your medication. But yeah, that term's been used a lot as far as for like marijuana shops and that for dispensing that kind of thing. So. Yeah, I know. Although the air mattress that I did have was actually a really nice one. And it was actually really comfortable for an air mattress. It's what was one of the better ones, but it was also awkward, and I hated having it here in the studio. And it's nice when I'm on vacation. If I'm going on vacation with a couple of friends of mine and we're at a hotel and they want to take the beds, I don't mind opening up that air mattress because I can sleep on it okay. But yeah, every night, no, I didn't want to do that every single night. But as far as air mattresses go, it was definitely one of the better ones. I'm not getting anything coming out of this pencil. I don't know why. There we go.
Cool. It's good to catch up with you, Phil. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Are you going to call it yourself?
Did you say you might be streaming tomorrow night?
I'm going to try to. As long as nothing comes up, I'm going to see if I can try to come on tomorrow night.
So I'll definitely try to make it.
I'll see if I can have some of the guys on here that I sort of didn't have on tonight. So, but yeah, definitely will. Because you said you were going to shoot a video too, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing something either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here as well.
So schedule more lined up with the rest of humanity.
All right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, see you soon. Thanks for having me on.
All right. You take care, Adam. We'll talk to you tomorrow at some point. Good night, guys. Joshua, wonderful to see you on here. It's nice that you could sit in. Vic, we'll talk. I'll have you back. I promise. No, don't be whiny about it.
See you, Creed. All right, bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Bye, Creed. You too. You too, Creed. Take care. We'll chat again soon. And everyone else who's here watching, lurking, Big Bad Mama's there. Always nice to have you on. And I'll be back. This will not be the last one. Have a good night, all. Cheers.